Body camera video captures it all, from the initial emergency response
Where's she shot? Where's she shot?
to witness statements.
And when I came out, she was right there. She's like, I got shot. They took my kids. She was.
And even the family's reaction to the news.
What happened to her? What do you mean she was shot?
Oh, 1 second.
Remove!
This Georgia mother was gunned down in her own home by a woman claiming to be a friend she met online in a mommy group. Instead, the suspect kidnapped her 6-week-old twin boys and made a break for it.
She kept saying, I'm taking the boys.
This is the story of Angela Montgomery, a 23-year-old woman from Rincon, Georgia, whose disturbing obsession led her to commit an unthinkable act. Posing as a new mother online, she befriended Gabrielle Rodgers, a 23-year-old new mom of twin boys. But what began as a seemingly innocent connection turned into a chilling nightmare. On a fateful day of 2021, Angela Montgomery arrived at Gabrielle's Savannah home, pretending to bring items for the babies. Moments later, Gabrielle was shot multiple times, and her newborn sons, Matteo and Lorenzo, were taken. As investigators raced against time to find the twin babies and the shooter, the city was shaken. And the question arose, who was Angela? What drove her to plan such a horrific crime? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to Savannah, Georgia, a city in the South known for its old buildings, brick streets, and big trees covered in moss. About 30 minutes away is a small town called Rincon in Effingham County. That's where this shocking story begins. Angela Montgomery was a 23-year-old woman living in Rincon at the time of the incident. She lived in the Lost Plantation neighborhood on St. Andrews Road, a typically quiet area where residents described her as polite and unassuming.
I'm making this video more so because I hope it goes viral. I want Chatham County in Savannah, Georgia to know that I'm coming for them. Yesterday I called 911 and it went to voicemail. Then I called back, and when I called back I told them, hey, some lady just hit me on the road, wouldn't pull over. I pulled over and she pulled a knife out, yeah. And, I got back in my car and I'm driving, and can you have an officer come to my location? I was told no, that no officers will be sent. That if I want an officer sent, I had to turn around and go back to where it all started. And I said, well, she's following me, so would you like me to turn around? And she said, well, you turn around and you call me when you get there and then I'll send someone. So should I have turned around and sat there and give her more opportunity to hurt me while I have my kids in the car? Let me know. The story continues. That's just a snip.
Angela was engaged to be married and often posted videos with her fiancé.
So, story time. 2 days ago, I was this girlfriend to this guy. You know what I'm saying? Right? Well, now I'm the fiance. And, this one is for Keisha. I'm gonna need you to stay on my man phone and stop playing games with me, because at this point, it's wifey standards. You see that? I'm a big gangster. When I fuck you up.
According to neighbors, Angela lived with her fiancé and a few children, and from the outside looking in, she seemed like any other young mother trying to make a life for her family. Angela projected an image of being a friendly, kind-hearted woman. One neighbor even described her as always nice and said their interactions had been nothing but pleasant. Angela also told others that she was pregnant, expecting twins in fact, but people noticed something odd. She never appeared visibly pregnant.
So everybody was wondering how I got pregnant with twins. I mean, I don't really know. I just did it.
Meanwhile, while my boyfriend learns TikTok. Me and the twins hungry.
She spoke about the upcoming births, seemingly weaving that detail into her identity as a soon-to-be mom. Her demeanor and the narrative she presented were convincing enough that no one raised alarms. To those around her, Angela Montgomery seemed like a normal young woman living an average life in a quiet neighborhood. But beneath the surface, a much darker truth was waiting to be uncovered. One day Angela met 23-year-old Gabrielle Rodgers on social media. Gabrielle was a mother of twins boys. The two bonded over their twin pregnancies. Gabrielle was affectionately known as Gabby. She was only 23 years old, but already balancing an incredibly full life. She had just welcomed twin baby boys, Matteo and Lorenzo, into the world and was overflowing with pride and joy at becoming a mother. According to those closest to her, Gabrielle was thrilled that both her boys were born healthy and without complications. She loved being a mom and embraced it with everything she had. At the same time, she was working hard and pursuing a master's degree, juggling the intense demands of motherhood, work, and school all at once. Her close friend Jamari said it best, she was proud, happy, and willing to do anything for her boys. Her strength and ambition didn't go unnoticed. Gabrielle was known for being devoted, resilient, and kind-hearted. Family and friends described her as someone who would fight fiercely for the people she loved, especially her children. She had a strong support system, including her best friend Jamari and her sister Brianna, who both jumped into action to help her during the most difficult time of her life. Gabrielle met Angela through a Facebook group for new mothers, a space meant to be safe, comforting, and supportive. What started as simple online interactions blossomed into what Gabrielle likely saw as a genuine friendship. Angela portrayed herself as another new mom, someone who could relate to the ups and downs of motherhood. Over several months, they had communicated and even met in person. Gabrielle considered Angela a supportive friend, recalling how Angela had visited her in the hospital and brought gifts while Gabrielle was still pregnant. But no one could have imagined how this seemingly harmless friendship would unfold. It all began in the weeks following the birth of Gabrielle Rodgers' twin boys, Matteo and Lorenzo. Gabrielle, like many new mothers, turned to social media for support and joined a Facebook group for moms. That's where she met Angela Montgomery, though at the time, Gabrielle only knew her as Kathleen Daniels. Angela presented herself as another young mom, friendly, supportive, and even generous, dropping off gifts and chatting about motherhood. They had formed what Gabrielle believed was a friendship. On May 11, 2021, a Tuesday morning that would change everything. Angela showed up at Gabrielle's home on the 1500 block of Northeast 36th Street under the pretense of dropping off formula. Gabrielle, trusting this woman she had met multiple times before, let her in. What happened next was nothing short of terrifying. Angela launched a sudden, violent attack, attempting first to strangle Gabrielle with a phone charger cord. As Gabrielle fought for her life and the safety of her children, Angela shot her 3 times, once in the head, once in the chest, and once in the leg. Somehow, Gabrielle managed to escape the home, bleeding heavily and in shock. She made it outside of her house, where she collapsed on the porch, saying that her babies had been taken. The neighbor, who never heard the shots but saw the blood and chaos inside Gabrielle's home, including a car seat and overturned furniture. She called 911 and tried to keep Gabrielle conscious until paramedics arrived. Gabrielle, in her barely coherent state, kept crying out names, Catherine, Kathleen, desperately trying to identify her attacker.
Where's she shot? Where's she shot?
I was in the house and somebody banged. They didn't ring the doorbell at first. They just started banging, like something like the police. But,
Right.
And I'm trying to get to the door because I'm way down in the den with my youngins. And by that time, I guess she figured to hit the doorbell, so she actually hit the doorbell. And when I came out, she was right there. She's like, I got shot, I got shot, I got shot. They took my kids, they took my kids. She was just panicking. And so she sat down on my bench for a few minutes. Then she laid back, and then she got up again, and she kept saying, Catherine, Catherine. And I said, you know, because I called 911 while I was talking to her. She said, call 911, I've been shot. I said, where you been shot? Because I didn't see it at first. She goes, in my ear. And you could see her ear was like whatever.
Right.
And so I kept talking to her, trying to keep her coherent, because I know I don't want her to pass out on me. Well, obviously, she did pass out before you guys got here. So I don't know anything. I never heard no shots. She just came to my door, because I guess she don't have a phone over there.
The witness has
How are
no
the
idea what
injuries?
kind of harm. I think,
Bad?
yeah. Well, one in the head,
No
one in
way,
the chest,
really?
and then one in the leg.
So, and then she walked over this way?
She ran.
Ran.
The scenes inside that house, it looks like it happened right in the front living room. The car seat is sitting right there. There's blood kind of like all around the car seat. She said that she has kids inside, and she just heard banging and hollering at the door. When she came out, she was collapsed in front.
And the kids are gone.
The suspect.
Hold on a second, Cat. Go ahead.
Suspect is a Kathleen Daniels, black female. This is straight from the victim. She's talking. Kathleen Daniels, she's black female and works at Memorial Hospital. came here. Supposedly she met her in a mommy's group, and she was bringing her formula. And then next thing she know, this is what a friend over there said, that she was meeting this lady up from on a mommy's group, bringing her formula. Next thing she knows, she came home. The friend came here, and there's blood everywhere. And but coming from the victim, Kathleen Daniels, black female, works at Memorial Hospital. She's the one that shot her and took the kids.
Did you get all that?
But she don't know what vehicle she was driving. She didn't see.
What do we care about?
Well, the victim.
Finding the children.
Correct.
The victim is here is being treated. We care about finding the kids.
All right, well, let's go then. I got a photo.
See if we can get, is he with
They're at EMS. I guess they went to Memorial.
I have a trauma protocoler now, GSW. We are currently inbound with a 23-year-old female she's got one hole to the right temple. Patient is conscious and alert and answers questions appropriately, GCS of 15. Actually, a GCS of 13. She's got one hole to the left or the right temple. She's got one to left breast. Just inferior and lateral to the nipple. And she's got one to upper thigh, right thigh. She's probably only about maybe 4 inches from the crease of the leg. Patient is answering questions. I have a date of birth. I don't have a whole lot of information. A tourniquet was applied to the right leg prior to EMS arrival. Current heart rate is 117. She shows signs on the monitor. O2 sats at 97. She is on 15 liters. Non-rebreather. And she's got a BP of 125 over 82. I did get an 18 in the right arm. We tried a 16 that blue. We're probably only about 4 minutes out.
The sister of the victim could be seen crying hysterically.
We know who did this? Did they leave? A female took the kids?
Hey, my man, you gotta get on the other side of the tape. Get on the other side of the tape. Somebody gonna tell me what happened. I'll tell you in a second. Calm down.
Talk to you. Let us talk to you first.
Calm down, brother.
What happened to her? What do you mean she was shot?
Hold on a second. Let her explain. Let her explain.
She gotta explain it to you, man. Hey, look, I get it.
Detectives learn that Kathleen Daniels is an alias, and the real name of the assailant is Angela Montgomery. Police arrive at Angela's home and meet up with her mother, who believed the twins were Angela's.
Y'all know whose babies those were?
My daughter's.
What's your daughter's name?
Angela.
Those are Angela's babies? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure Angela didn't lose her babies?
If she did,
She never told you? Okay. But you think those are Angela's babies?
That's what she said.
Is that the first time you've seen those babies?
Yes.
Put them in the car. Oh, you got the baby? Back seat, front seat.
You okay if I send her?
You are absolutely good. I'm just happy.
We get a marked unit up that intersection and walk off your car.
Your thing. Hey, babies. All right. All right. Hey, darling. Hey, darling.
Somebody advised we have both babies. That's all one. Somebody advised we have both.
We have both. We have both.
Excellent job.
Yeah. This one's still sleeping.
He's
still sleeping. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi.
All right, all one, slow down. Rincon, slow down.
First responders rushed her to the hospital in critical condition. She would undergo emergency surgeries but survive, miraculously. While in the hospital, police give Gabrielle a photo lineup and she identifies Angela as the woman who attacked her and stole her babies.
for the next photo? Who's that? You recognize her? Who's that?
Thanks to Gabrielle's statements and the swift mobilization of law enforcement, detectives tracked Angela Montgomery to a home in the quiet Lost Plantation neighborhood on St. Andrews Road in Rincon. At around 2:30 p.m., a little more than 4 hours after the attack, SPD detectives, along with SWAT teams and the Rincon Police Department, descended on the property. Angela was found hiding in a closet with the same firearm she had used on Gabrielle. The twin babies were there too, miraculously unharmed, though shaken.
I swear on everything I love. I got a call. You can check my phone if you have it. It was from Destiny, and I.
From who?
Her name's Destiny.
Destiny?
Her name on her driver's license reads Destiny Scott 2598. She's a New York driver's license.
Okay.
And I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
I got a call telling me to come to Gabby's address. And I did.
Okay.
By the time I showed up there, I promise I just drove off. I didn't even, I was driving my sedan this morning. I saw everything that was on the thing, and I knew for a fact I'm not opposed to, I knew whose kids came into the house. The first time I ever saw those kids this morning was at the St. Joseph's. That's where I saw them. Now, did my gut tell me that it was Gabby's kid and Gabby probably didn't just let this go? Maybe. Honestly, Gabby was friendly, sorry. I don't know what I thought. But I didn't ask any questions. And I said, what do you want me to do?
Days later, investigators get a clearer picture of the attack when Rodgers herself explains what led up to the shooting.
She came behind me with a charger cord, phone charger cord, and wrapped it around my throat. I was trying to choke me with it, but I had used my hands and kind of pushed her back.
Okay.
And got out from under it. And then I was running and I heard a pop. I was trying to get to the boys, but the door was closed and I was like, I need to go get help. And then I heard another pop and I fell. And then I got up, ran to the neighbors, banged on their door. They didn't answer, so I remember running across the street, falling, knocking on that door.
Okay.
And then that's really all I can really remember. She just kept saying how she was upset because she couldn't find her phone. And then she kept saying, I'm taking the boys, I'm taking the boys. And I was like, what? No, you're not. You're taking my kids. She was like, they're not yours. And I was like, they are mine. I just was so confused.
And this was before or after the charger?
This is during her trying to choke me with that charger cord.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. This is an uncomfortable memory.
And I just was trying to get somebody to help. I didn't even know she had shot me. I was just running to get help.
Okay.
And then I remember falling onto the neighbor's doorstep. And then I see my sister running out of the house. And I'm like, the boys, she took my boys.
Rodgers even explained she'd been friends with Montgomery for months ahead of the shooting.
We've been talking for a couple months. We've actually had a couple meetups, which baffled me that this even happened because I never saw the signs. We even went to the park and had a picnic with her and her baby.
And that was the Thursday before the attack. But she's been in the house a couple before that?
Yeah, she's come over She dropped some stuff off for me when I was pregnant with the boy still in the hospital. She came and brought some stuff to the hospital for me. She's just been a really good support. And I just was so confused on what was going on. And
in the end, first responders praise Rodgers for her ability to react and protect her sons.
That's some serious mama bear energy. For you to be able to run, because you ran over to the neighbors next to you in the brick house, and then you ran across the street, 13, 14, or 12, 14, right across the street. You were able to, now you've been shot 3 times, and you were able to tell them, not basically, what you told them what happened. And then you were able to tell your sister, and then your sister was able to tell us. And because of that, we could figure it out. And so that was remarkable.
I'm glad my boys are safe. I just wanted to make sure they were okay.
Officers found that Angela had gone so far as to convince her own mother the children were hers. Gabrielle's family and friends were stunned and devastated. Her best friend, Jamari Tripp, recalled how he had spoken to her just an hour before the shooting. Overwhelmed with guilt and disbelief, he later said, "I just keep thinking, what would have happened if I stayed on the phone, maybe even 5 more minutes? Would I have heard something?" Tripp described Gabrielle as a strong, proud mother who would have done anything to protect her boys, and he believed she had. He, along with Gabrielle's sister Brianna Young, quickly launched campaigns to help cover Gabrielle's medical bills, childcare, and living expenses as she recovered. Angela's arrest sent shockwaves through the community. Neighbors who lived near her in Rincon were stunned.
Steve Villani says this Rincon neighborhood is quiet. He says Montgomery lived across the street with her husband and a few other kids.
Very nice interactions. No problems, wouldn't put them at all.
Another neighbor reported that Angela had told people she was expecting twins, though no one had ever seen her visibly pregnant. This chilling detail suggested that Angela had been planning to take Gabrielle's children as her own, possibly after suffering a miscarriage. Her delusion, police believed, was a driving force behind the attack. Once in custody, Angela gave a series of conflicting and bizarre statements during her interrogation. She told officers she had a twin sister named Destiny, who instructed her to go to Gabrielle's house. She also claimed she had recently lost a pregnancy and was planning to break the news to her fiancé that day. These fabrications unraveled quickly. Angela's story included references to seeing the babies at the hospital and being convinced they were her sister's children, although no such sister existed. In court, Angela ultimately pleaded guilty but mentally ill to charges of attempted murder, aggravated assault, and 2 counts of kidnapping. The weapons charge was dropped. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison with life on probation. Her defense attorney requested a mental health evaluation, citing her unstable and erratic behavior and delusional claims. While the court acknowledged her mental health struggles, her actions were deemed deliberate, dangerous, and profoundly damaging to Gabrielle and her family. News of the case gripped not only Savannah but communities across Georgia. It became a tragic example of how vulnerable people, especially new mothers, can be preyed upon even by those who seem trustworthy. It also highlighted the importance of vigilance when connecting with others online. Chief Minter later praised the community for its swift cooperation, saying the case wouldn't have been solved so quickly without public tips and the collaboration of multiple law enforcement agencies. As of today, Gabrielle continues to recover. She survived life-threatening injuries that might have killed someone else. Her resilience is nothing short of remarkable. Family and friends have raised thousands of dollars through the combined GoFundMe efforts. Jamari's fundraiser aimed to raise $20,000 and has surpassed $2,495, while Brianna's family-led fundraiser reached nearly $19,744 out of a $30,000 goal. Both campaigns remain active, as Gabrielle is still undergoing medical care and physical therapy. She has spoken about her experience, describing the surreal horror of realizing that someone she trusted had tried to kill her and steal her children. But she also holds onto the joy of seeing her sons again, alive and safe, after that nightmare afternoon. Angela Montgomery, now 25, remains incarcerated. Her case is a tragic reminder of how desperation, mental illness, and calculated deception can collide in the most unthinkable ways. What happened to Gabrielle Rodgers should never have happened. No mother should be attacked and have her children stolen by someone she thought was a friend. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.